like this. The high desert above Ten Sleep, Wyoming. This is one of the most isolated places in America. About 2,000 square miles, dotted with a handful of towns, none with more than a few thousand people. It's a stark landscape with one striking feature. This narrow trench that's being cut into the ground. You see, this trench is as important to manufacturing today as the railroads were in 19th century America. Because it holds something that is connecting every home in this remote area to the world. Something that's distributing goods and ideas on an unprecedented scale. Fiber optic cable. It carries a signal for television, phones, and the internet. And no one is more excited about it than Rod Collingwood.
When our nation started the Interstate Highway Act, instead of having local commerce, we could get goods coast to coast, top to bottom. Fiber optic is the future highway. It allows you to do that same thing on a global scale.
Collingwood supervises crews in this area, driving hours each day to keep the cable coming.
We're continuously building. We have a plan to try and build at least 2 communities a year with fiber to the home.
Okay. That's amazing because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
We are in the middle of nowhere.
But you guys have some of the most advanced technology, some of the most advanced infrastructure in the country.
That's right. The trend of our current generation and generations to come demands connectivity at all times. Yeah. I don't think there's any way to stop it. I don't think it should be stopped. It's evolution. I don't think the next generation will even know what a post office is.
A what? A post office?
That's exactly right.
Rod's crews have laid over 600 miles of cable. And that's just one small part of a communications revolution that's unfolding all around us.
The end result is that virtually every corner of America is now connected to the entire world. If I pull up a website on my cell phone, my request will travel to that tower and then down to a fiber optic cable underneath.
And from there, it travels to a routing station nearly 200 miles away, a station that can send my request anywhere by integrating it with a vast network of wireless towers that cover the country, connecting almost everyone. It's the most powerful network in history. And while every nation on Earth has access to it, America is using it in ways that are truly unique, creating products that have never been seen anywhere before. Like the product they're making here. This is the engineering department of a company that's worth nearly $80 billion. A company that's growing by 100% each year, while building a product that no one had even heard of a decade ago. Facebook. The whole thing started in a college dorm room, and if you look around, you might think you're still in college. The walls are covered with graffiti. People come and go at all hours and play games whenever they please. It all shows just how much the internet is changing what America makes, creating a new economy where the raw materials aren't things we take from the earth, they're ideas.
The internet is this amazing distribution vehicle to get people's ideas into people's homes and workplace.
Mike Schrepfer helps run this place, and he knows better than anyone how Facebook embodies a new kind of manufacturing.
A lot of people used to think of engineers as people who would build things that you can hold, right? Like cars or like radios. But all your engineers are building something that people can't necessarily touch.
So I think it feels more ephemeral because you don't get a box shipped to you. But the really interesting technical challenge for people here is, every Facebook experience is totally unique. So when you log into Facebook, you get an entirely different homepage than when I log in, because it's all based on who you're connected with and what they're doing. We're trying to present you kind of your personal newspaper. Here's what you might find interesting today going on in your friends. And so that's a totally different experience for every person on the site.
This philosophy is key to Facebook. It may seem like a simple website, but it's really a completely new type of product. And the response has been overwhelming. We obtained data showing how a single Facebook friend request, this blue line you see here, can link someone in Chicago to someone in New York, to people all over the globe, in an ever-expanding network. In fact, if you friended every person on the site, you'd have 800 million friends. That's twice the population of the United States. And of course, Facebook isn't just about friends. It's a commercial empire. Almost every company uses it as a marketing tool. It's even started offering software called Facebook Platform that allows anyone to launch a business online. From gamers to retailers, Platform has created thousands of new companies and billions in revenue.
We have hundreds of thousands of developers, and people are actually, there's jobs now that are created around building around the Facebook platform.
Dave Fetterman is one of the engineers who was recruited to build the platform. He was drawn to Facebook by the chance to create something totally new.
Creating something isn't just about putting pieces of material together. It's also about something showing up today that wasn't there yesterday and improving on that.
Do you feel like what we're manufacturing sort of virtually is just as valuable as what we used to make the old traditional way?
I think that's absolutely true. I come from actually a factory town where we actually, in New York, Pennsylvania, we make tons of Harley-Davidsons, and the Caterpillar plant used to be there, and thousands of workers. But the thing about Facebook is the kinds of things we're creating here, it doesn't require all that, because the internet, moving bits, is essentially at this point free, and anyone has the tools to build stuff on the internet.
This is the ultimate promise of the internet age. To succeed, all you need is a good idea. Ideas have always been a fundamental basis of manufacturing. Now, they're becoming the main thing. Want to see proof? Just look outside the offices of Facebook to the neighborhood that surrounds it, Silicon Valley. 70 years ago, this is what it looked like. 600,000 acres of farmland on the fringes of Stanford University. What changed? Everything. The Valley is now home to Apple, eBay, Google, and countless other companies that are world leaders simply because of the ideas they've nurtured. It's a testing ground for visionaries. We all celebrate the successes and mock the failures. And no one knows what's coming next. This is Willow Garage. It could be Silicon Valley's next big startup. They make robots here, but not like any I've ever seen. This thing isn't designed to work in a factory. It's supposed to live in your house. It's called personalized robotics. It's about figuring out what robots can do for us in our everyday lives. Some of these robots have been taught to fold laundry. Others to bake cookies. And this one? Well, this one has learned a particularly useful skill.
Well, thank you, sir. Do I have to give it a tip?
Behind it all is a very unusual business strategy. The software that powers these robots is free. You can download it at home right now. And if you run a research lab, you can buy one of these things at a significant discount. Because in the short term, Willow Garage isn't trying to make a profit. Its goals are much more ambitious. This is Steve Cousins, the company's CEO.
A lot of companies, they develop intellectual property, and they want to keep it kind of closed. They want to own it so that they can profit from it. But your model is very different. You're sort of giving all your innovations out to the rest of the world. Why are you doing that?
We want to get computers out of the server rooms, and we want to get robots out of the factories. And we want to see those things come together in the real world. And we think that we can be a catalyst by doing that. We think of it like the PC industry. There were early products that were really expensive, and then the PCs came out and really started to take off. And we think we're in the days of those early products now.
So you're saying that Willow Garage isn't being driven by kind of quarterly profits. There's no real market right now for your products. You're trying to create a new market.
We're trying to create a whole new industry here.
But creating a new industry from scratch isn't easy, especially when your product is so complex. Robots work very well in structured situations. That's why they're so useful in factories. But in the ever-changing environment of the human home, robots struggle.
Take that. I just took my piece off the table. I think the robot's cheating.
So Willow Garage is constantly revising its work, trying to make their robots more sensitive and adaptable.
Hey, wait. Oh, nice. Okay, okay. Okay, this procedure gets the gripper stuck here.
It's a huge gamble, and there's a very real chance that the company will totally fail. But there's also a chance it will become the next Apple or Microsoft. And that's the point. Risk is what drives this place. Willow Garage is risking a fortune because the reward is potentially immense. They could change the world. And while success sometimes seems a long way off, it's amazing what they've already accomplished. I never imagined I'd see anything like this. And it's really just part of a much bigger picture. When I started on this journey, I thought American manufacturing was dying. I'd heard that our jobs had all gone overseas, that we didn't make anything anymore. But there's another story out there, a very different story. And from the first moment I flew above a factory, I started to hear it.
American manufacturing is still number one. It still accounts for 12% of the U.S. economy, employs about 11 million people, and it spurs a lot of other spin-off jobs that are important to the economy. And I can't imagine an America in which the manufacturing sector is not robust.
Everywhere I went in this country, I saw how true this was.
It starts here and then ends up back here. We're taking the old and making the new.
We can do it faster, better, and cheaper than anyone else. And what this means to everyone else in the world is you can go out now and buy a laptop for a few $100s. You couldn't do that 10 years ago. And that's incredible.
I don't know how they can say America don't build things anymore. We do it every day. There's a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of hard work involved, but as you can see, that's a good view of it right there. America still builds things.
American manufacturing is enduring a tremendous upheaval. Jobs have been lost and companies destroyed. But my journey surprised me. Where I'd expected to see things falling apart, I found them being built. Looking for weakness, I found strength. Over and over again.
It's a misconception that America is not making things like it used to. So maybe we produce less physical things. But in terms of innovation, I mean, where does Google come from, right? Where does Facebook come from? Where does any number of new, the internet, right, comes out of this country? And it's not like that was an accident, right? It's a way that we think about things.
A revolution is unfolding all around us. Our factories don't look like they used to. They require fewer people and make different products. But we manufacture more now than at any time in our history. And there's absolutely no reason to think we'll stop. America Revealed is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.